Thanks, Ashley.
Hi, I'm and St. Mary's Injury Prevention.
Jim Pringle, I'm liaison with the National Weather Service and also with the Mesa County LAPC, as well as the Secretary for Mesa County Safety Council. Go ahead.
I'm Jalen Bloomfield, and I am a member of the Citizens on Patrol for the Mesa County Sheriff's Office.
Operations Captain, Citizens on Patrol. Rich Badger, Mesa County Sheriff's Citizens on Patrol Senior Coordinator. First rank Colorado State Patrol member at large.
Reed Stevens, Brandon Tree Athletics Support Group. Nicole Heil, Western Colorado Area Health Education Center.
I'm the coordinator of also Colorado Reborn.
Heather Condor, Mesa County Road and Bridge.
Hello, this is Carrie with WCCA. Just a little FYI, I am resigning my position. Britton Gaza will be taking my place, and he's here with me now. So thank you very much for all you guys have did.
Thank you, Carrie.
Yeah, and we wish you well in whatever you go into next. And if you could just give me the contact information for Britton, that'd be great. I'll add Britton to the mailing list.
Thank you. I will get that sent over to you via email.
Thank you, Carrie.
Looks like we got a couple more attending virtually. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
I'm
Yeah,
Jennifer. I'm Jennifer Vemmer from Hilltop Family Resources.
Yeah, I'm Jason Talley. I'm the crisis coordinator for the school district.
Wonderful. It looks like that's everybody. Thanks for attending, everyone.
Oh, we have one more.
Glenn Kaiser, past chair, fashionably late.
I didn't see you sneak in there, Glenn. Welcome.
Pretty sneaky.
Okay, number 2 is review of the 11/16/21 minutes. Did anybody get a chance to read those? I will say that I did get a chance to read them, and I would accept them without any changes.
Second.
Great. Number 3 is the treasurer's report.
Hey everyone. So we have not had any credits or debits since the last meeting. Our current balance is sitting at $2,924.01. Other than our 2022 safety fair expenditures to be expected, we have our insurance policy set to renew in February. But otherwise, we are sitting very well right now.
Excellent. Thank you, Ashley. Number 4, 2022 hybrid safety fair planning. First bullet point is status of virtual safety fair videos and quizzes.
I haven't heard anything from anybody as far as new videos, changes to videos, or different quizzes.
Please refresh my memory. That's when we're supposed to have them in by. Which date?
I think we're looking about 2 weeks before the actual in-person event would be nice, but anywhere up till there would be good.
So sometime in January, if you did do some.
That'd be fine, yeah.
Right.
We have a new one that they're producing at the sheriff's office as well, so once that's done, maybe we'll get sent over.
Great, appreciate it.
Unless you want a new one from State Patrol, I'll stick with the one we got.
If you're happy with it, we're happy.
It's a really good.
We're pretty much standard, except I might add some quiz statements to it.
I think basically last year, I want to say anybody didn't have a quiz, I just tried to make up a quiz for them. So everything had a quiz, even if it wasn't necessarily built in, or the ones where they had the questions as you went. I just made the quiz exactly the same as the questions that were in the video. But again, just an opportunity to change it if you want to. If you're happy with how it is, that's fine too. I'm trying to push
Better
anybody.
than I do now, so yeah.
Okay, anything further on that? Next bullet point, promotion of the 2022 safety fair. I think this is kind of a placeholder, isn't it, Jim? We kind of agreed last meeting not to really do any promotion until after the first of the year when the safety fair got closer.
That is correct.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, next bullet point would be the handout bags.
Okay. I need to send out an email, and I will do that today. Just telling everybody they can get in contact with Sherry Johnson, and they can drop off their handout items at any time during regular business hours. Get a hold of Sherry before doing that, and she will work with them to arrange a time and the place and everything so that they can be dropped off efficiently.
Hey, this is Carrie. Could you give us Sherry's phone number real quick, please?
Yeah, it's also in the minutes, but it is area code 970-270-6567.
Thank you.
I do have confirmation from Cabela's that they will provide the bags. They're checking to see how many they've got in stock. They said to come see me right after January 1st, after the Christmas rush, to make sure they've got enough. If not, they'll order some more. And they also said if we're having a in-person fair, they would bring back their hypothermia exhibit.
Did they say anything about having a hypothermia safety video for the virtual?
I think they will. I didn't
Okay.
see something yesterday.
Okay, that'd be great. Plus they get free advertising.
Okay, anything more on the swag bags? Next bullet point would be prizes for participation.
I haven't heard anything since the last meeting, but we already have several. Well, I actually have heard from some that have inquired, but they haven't said that they are definitely going to give some. I assume they will. But I've received several inquiries since the last meeting. Prior to the last meeting, we already had a couple of organizations that pledged to provide something. KKCO said that they bought 200 of these USA mittens for kids. They're, I think, a one size fits all type of thing. They're stretchable. So real nice prize gift. So that'll go a long ways right there.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Okay, well then let's move on to school invitations.
Okay, after the last meeting, it was about a week and a half after the last meeting, or 2 weeks after, I got a hold of Jeff Colton with the Weather Service. He's the one that developed the online forms that their Google form for the exhibitor application and also the teacher's registration form. So I started a conversation then to include Jeff and Luke to coordinate that. And so I guess Luke is busy and he's, I don't know where he's at. He's probably outside of the state right now, I would imagine, but I have no idea. I just assume he's very busy with his work. And but the goal was to get those forms onto our website, and then I was going to send out a message to School District 51 for the teacher registration, and I was going to send out a message and I will send out a message to the Mesa County Safety Council email list for the exhibitor application. So just waiting on that for the online forms to be posted on our website.
Okay. We should probably attempt to contact Luke, just shoot him an email, see where he's at. I know he's not at the meeting today. I could see on the screen it says that he's unavailable for the meeting. So maybe just shoot him an email and he can kind of answer that in his own time.
Yeah, I sent him one last week. I haven't heard back, so I assume he's really busy.
Okay.
He's usually good about responding. But I can send him another one.
Okay, I wouldn't bother sending him another one. I feel he'll get to it when he can, and we still have plenty of time. We're a couple months out here, so probably let's not inundate him with emails.
Right, that was my thought.
Okay, no, and I appreciate that. So the school invitations, that would also, your update would also cover the online School District 51 teacher registration forms as well. So that should take care of both of those bullet points, correct, Jim?
Correct.
Okay, excellent. If nobody else has anything else on that, let's move on to busing for the School District 51 students.
I did stop by and talk to Karen Harris, I think is my contact. And she's got on her calendar, said everything's going fine. You know, there's been any reservations yet or anything. Tim Leon mentioned last month that there is currently a shortage of bus drivers, but they hope to have that cleared up. So that's all I have on
Okay, well, I think we've done our due diligence with that as far as just letting them know far in advance. That way they can take our needs into consideration as they deal with those shortages. So I think we're doing pretty good on that if they say everything's going fine and we have let them know of our need and the dates and all that good stuff. So I appreciate that, Glenn. Anybody else have anything on the busing, or shall we move on to invitation to exhibitors, which I believe, Jim, you covered that as well?
Correct.
She did mention also, Matt, that all the forms on their end were the same as the last year, which has been the same for probably 3 or 4 years now.
Okay. Is there anything that I need to fill out?
No, it's just the teachers have the office staff usually filling out. They're all trained how to fill out.
Okay, perfect. I just don't want to be the one that's holding us up from doing what we got to do. I appreciate that, brother.
That's it.
Okay. Online exhibitor application form, I believe you covered that as well, Jim.
Correct.
Location of exhibitor booths and displays.
I did stop by and meet Natalie, who is the new marketing person. And I told her, Matt, that you and I wanted to have a meeting with her once things slow down on her end. I do have her contact information that I can give to you later. She might be available. She said she'd be available this Thursday or Friday. I'm not sure if I'm going to be yet, but I'll know pretty quick.
Okay, I can make myself available for that meeting if need be. Just an FYI to everybody here in the room, I will be out of contact from December 23rd all the way through the beginning of the year. So anything that we want to wrap up on my end, I'd like to wrap up before then so I can go away for a while. It's been a long year.
Very good.
Natalie Chevalier is her name. I like somebody to pronounce it for me. SCHIEVELDEIN. She's the marketing director. I think she's local. She said she also teaches at the dance academy here. That's why she preferred not to meet on Wednesdays, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday other than it couldn't meet on Thursday or Friday. I told her you prefer to meet at 3:30.
Actually, I would prefer to meet before that, but I can meet at that time.
Okay. I've got her cell phone number here. I'll get back with you later.
Okay, yeah, you just let me know when, and like I said, I'll make myself available.
Okay.
Thank you, Glenn. Volunteers to assist at the in-person safety fair.
We're gonna have the Fruta Rotsi group again this year.
I think they were disbanded.
Okay, so when we don't have that, does Central have theirs? They do.
I believe so.
Central still has one. I haven't contacted. But you mentioned previous meetings that you might talk to the police.
Yeah, well, we can
Police academy, is it?
we can have some dialogue. Good for us today. Brian and I could put our heads together to see if we can draw some from your EMT program, right?
I might be able to draw a couple. Yeah, most of the people that were getting involved from our program and CMU's EMS program will already be there for the touch a truck portion of it with the police cars and ambulance, all that kind of stuff. But we may be able to see if they could kind of split off and have half their folks take care of their exhibit and the other half maybe helping out with facilitating some of the fair. We can check on that and get back to you.
What's basically the job description on that?
I thought that some people get to their students.
A lot of what we had the ROTC do last year is they were at the table, they staffed the table with me and the other people that were available. And basically what we have them do is they'll run the groups of classes out to different places in the mall so we don't get a big bottleneck or congestion. So really what they're doing is kind of escorting those groups, like I said, at different parts of the mall. And then, you know, if anything should come up, it'd be nice to have some volunteers to take care of any emergency or anything like that that we would need to take care of. God forbid that happens, but you know, we should be ready in the situation of an emergency.
How many usually did you get from the ROTC group?
Oh, we prefer to have a dozen. We were down to just 3 last year because they weren't, since it wasn't a club, they weren't allowed to meet during a regular class, so they had to meet after class.
I would feel confident that we will be able to muster something.
Great.
I feel confident we'll be able to draw a few.
I'll get back to stay in touch with them.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I might go out and just beat the Central guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, one other thing that the junior ROTC has done to help in the past is also during the setup, the evening prior to the first day of the safety fair.
That's set tables up basically, Jim, or?
Yeah, kind of helping people move in their equipment and that kind of thing, assisting, all of their big exhibit stuff. And, doesn't the tell me if, remind me, Lynn, doesn't the mall set up the tables? And
Yes.
then-
They set up their chairs and tables.
Right.
They don't set up typically what we set up is our extra chairs for like the electrical exhibits and put them in the extra tables, which is only kind of,
Right. And they've helped with that as well. Okay.
We're still gonna have the opportunity to set up the night before, early morning. before the-
As I understand it, all that's remained the same. One other thing here, Jason Lemaster with Mesa County Animal Services said he's still trying to contact the Civil Air Patrol cadets. So I got an email from him a couple days ago, and he said he's still wanting to do that, he just hasn't gotten to them yet. So, and there's really no limit on to the number of volunteers we can have. We can always find things for volunteers to do. Who is his? He didn't say.
If that falls through, we might have another contact. We can go with agency names with Snow Patrol.
Oh, okay.
If that falls through, yeah.
Great.
Okay, anything else on volunteers? We pretty much got that covered. Moving on would be obtaining feedback is the next bullet point. No change since the last meeting, I assume?
Some of the other events we've done, we've tried to do like a gift card as a random draw for the feedback forms. I think I could probably get my boss to do something for that. But
Okay.
Next fiscal year, but that won't be a problem for what we're doing.
Question, would that be in addition to the donation to the safety council, or would that be the donation?
No, we're trying to come a little harder if we can, so. Yes, just go shake the tree again, see if I can get a few dollars to fall out.
We appreciate the generosity of Colorado 811.
I was just trying to help out with the good cause, so it's our pleasure to do what we can.
Okay, the next bullet point under the 2022 Safety Fair is any other business that you would like to bring to the table about the planning of the in-person and the digital hybrid Safety Fair.
I guess no news is good news. Haven't heard anything from School District 51, either Tim Leon or Ari Goldberg regarding any concerns with the COVID threat. So, this new strain that's come about, since the last meeting, nobody's mentioned anything. So I think we're still all systems go with the in-person safety fair for now. It doesn't sound like anybody is overly concerned about that. But maybe,
just the news media.
Yeah, but maybe we need to take some extra precautions that we've never had to take in the past. And I'm not sure what all that would be, but perhaps we need to talk about that a little bit as far as people staffing the booths, their exhibits, and I don't know. I really don't know what we should do. I don't know what's best. I'm thinking it should be optional to wear the mask if you feel like you need to wear the mask, but that's just my opinion.
Well, and that's part of the resolution that we're under here in Mesa County. I firmly believe that School District 51 is going to do what they need to do to protect their students, to avoid liability and all of that good stuff. I don't believe the council is really in a position where we want to tell our vendors what to do. I think we should make it optional for them. And really, I'd like to see what way the school district was leaning before we made a choice on that. You know what I mean? If they're going to mandatorily mask up their students, it may not be a bad idea for the members of the council at least to do that. But that's a whole big conversation, and I know there's a lot of opinions about that. So I'll leave that up to your discussion. What do you guys think?
Well, I know that Governor Polis said, hey, you live in Colorado, if it snows, put on a jacket. He's not mandating anything from the state level, and the county has been very reluctant. I say, you do the CDC guidelines, you post it and say, recommendations are you wear a mask, wash your hands, and you know, Matt, save yourself a headache. You don't want to be on the front page of the paper, and you don't want to be controversial. Just say, we follow CDC guidelines and leave it at that. And that is at the discretion of each and every person. There's no liability to us. We're in a basically an open to public facility that's private. And unless they're mandating it, I don't think we can.
Okay, understood. Anybody else have an opinion on that?
Well, for your suggestion, Matt, I will contact Ari and Tim and just throw it out as to, what they are thinking they will do with their students and staff if they come to the in-person safety fair.
Okay, I also feel that the mall is probably, the mall is obviously operating under the freedom to choose resolution. So that is another good thing to fall back on. We just say, hey, we'll follow the CDC guidelines and, let the public do what the public's going to do, because they're already doing that in the mall already, right?
Right. Good decision.
Like you said, you have no political feedback from anybody.
Or even leave it to say vendor to vendor, whatever company, whatever your policy is, you're free to follow. And we're open to whatever they need to be done. That way you just leave it up there.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys, I'd be as hands-off as I can. I've been enforcing this for almost 2 years at my facility, and I'm as sick as I can be of it. So if I don't have to enforce it anywhere else, I would be very, very happy.
Yay.
We couldn't staff the enforcement. I can tell you that right now.
Okay, so I'm kind of, everything you guys are saying, I agree with. I don't want to take on that headache. I don't feel anybody else in the room wants to take on a headache. If you are a vendor and you feel the need to wear one, we're not going to condemn it, but we won't condone it either. I think that's kind of that's the feel I'm getting from the room.
Great. Yep.
Great. All right, let's make that the last time we have that conversation.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Okay, so if there is no other new business about the 2022 Safety Fair, I'd like to move on to fundraising.
I have a report with Community Hospital. I've been in dialogue with, or at least attempting to make contact and sit and visit with Karen Martzoff, their public information person. I was advised by a few people that she would be the best to go to. I would say, I feel very positive we can give a good presentation. I just wanted to know, Glenn or Jim, is there any material I want to take that we have regarding this other than what I know, or for support? Is there anything? And I don't think we're really behind them. Right now, if we can get them to move by January in their new fiscal year, it would help. Wouldn't you think, man?
Everything helps. Everything helps.
She should be pretty aware.
And I'm having a little bit of a hard time hearing from the back of the room. So if we have something very relevant, just shout it at me. If you guys are just having a discussion, that's fine. But I am missing bits and pieces here. So not a huge deal. Just letting you guys know if I don't respond correctly, it's because I probably didn't hear you correctly.
Okay, I'll speak up a little bit more. Karen is married to Andy Martzoff, who's the emergency manager for Mesa County.
Yep.
We've had contact with the local emergency planning committee previously, so she should be pretty helpful on what we do.
Good. I might ask you to join me when I visit with you, okay?
Yeah.
Hey, Sonata, do you happen to have with you any of the business cards for the Safety Council? I think you made some up for that.
I made some up, but they're back at the house. But
Yeah, mine are too.
I'm sorry, but I can bring them back in and deliver them to you if you'd like. I know.
If I go with my some too.
Yeah. So maybe I'll just split them around between.
That'd be good.
Rich, when were you thinking about meeting with Karen?
I'm hoping before I leave town next Wednesday. So
Okay.
So I just want to touch base. I can bring them to you.
okay.
Or bring some. I guess I'll divvy it up.
Where's your office?
I work out of the house.
Okay. Well, maybe we can connect in the next day or so.
It's easier. I don't mind coming to town. If you
Okay.
work in town and it's convenient. I have a car, so it's easy.
Yeah, let me know if there's anything you guys need from me as well. Okay, if there's nothing else on fundraising, the last item
Matt?
is, yes, sir.
At the last meeting, you and Nicole were talking about the Snowball Sweepstakes. I don't know what more information you have. Since I saw your email for the communication after the last meeting, so I don't know if there's anything new on that.
I do not have anything new on that I'm aware of at this moment. Sorry, I muted myself in the middle of what I was saying.
Okay, and also,
Didn't we send them an email asking them to,
include us as an organization?
correct. I do
Yeah, I
not
did
believe,
that.
you did that?
I did that, but I haven't heard any response.
Okay, and I haven't seen anything either.
So I guess I'll try to contact them once again.
Okay,
Since we have Ashley on the call also, at the last meeting, we talked about the rubber ducky derby fundraiser. And Matt, during that last meeting, you said, right after the safety fair, I think we should get going on making plans to have that happen in late spring or early summer. So
yeah, because we were talking about that in the fall and we really ran out of time. But it would be something good to, host an event like that. And I feel this, if we pull this safety fair off with the donations that we have incoming, plus the money that we have in the treasury report, it's pretty much going to tap us out. So we're going to definitely have to push really hard this year on fundraising to make our next safety fair successful looking into 2023. So that would be a really good event for us to kick the year off with. If the Park Service still wants us, will let us do that.
Yeah, I don't foresee any issues with that. Alan's currently in another conference call, so I'll pick his brain as soon as he's done. But I do know that this year the plan is that we're gonna actually replace the net by the spillway, and that's kind of the location we had talked about, is kind of dumping all of the rubber duckies there in the spillway and then allowing them to like shoot down to the bottom. So I would say if we're looking at a target date, I would say May would be a good month to aim for. Because of that spillway work, we're replacing that net in March. We have to bring the lake down a little bit. And so I'm not sure what the implications from that construction are going to be, but everything should be in place and completed in April. So May might be a good target.
Yeah, it's great too, because that gives us a few months to plan for it and promote it right after the safety fair, right? So I think that's something right after the safety fair, the next meeting that we get into, we should really dig into that and try to make that happen this year.
Sounds good. And another thing that we have the ability to do is each park has a certain amount of money that we can basically donate as product. For example, we're doing an event and we're raffling, or not raffling off, but we're giving away an annual pass. And so that would be something that if we choose to do it, I can donate that to the safety council, and the safety council can select the winner and everything. I just personally cannot be a part of that process because I work for the agency. But that would be an option if we wanted to raffle off an annual pass or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be great. That would be, the people that are going to be out there are going to be people that go to visit our parks frequently anyway. So that would be a really good grand prize. And, we could look at a first, second, third, and a grand prize for something like that to create a draw to get those donations.
I have a question on the safety fair. Have you guys done a survey of who's even going to attend? Is it worth our money and time to plan a safety fair in person if only like 3 classes are going?
Heather, I've been in contact with Tim Leon and Ari Goldberg, and particularly Ari Goldberg, and there's quite a bit of interest from the elementary schools to participate if they can. I think some of the teachers feel like they've been cooped up for a long time, unable to get out, and finally this year they're allowed to get out again for field trips.
Yeah, I'm just wondering like how much money we put into it if only like half of the people are going to attend in person. Is it really worth it to spend that amount of money? Because you have to do all the insurance, all the buses, all of that, or should we save it for when the whole crew, the 2,000 kids can go, is what I'm going at. Like, you're already talking about like we're needing to fundraise. But if we get to February and all the schools are like in lockdown or whatever, where they can't even go do anything because of increases, is it worth us putting the money into that?
And I
Where
think,
I'm just trying
no, I
understand
totally
a situation.
I understand where you're coming from. Right now, and it's a very good point, and it's a point we have talked about in the board meetings also, as well as the Mesa County Safety Council as a whole. We are moving forward with hope for the best and plan for the worst. And if the school district does hit us in mid-February before the safety fair and says, hey, you know, we're all on lockdown, or we're doing remote education, or whatever the situation may be in February, at that point, we would pull the plug and just go with the digital safety fair like we did last year. But we're proceeding right now like we can go ahead and do the in-person safety fair. That way, if February does come up and everything's all clear and we are able to gather in the mall with the school district, we don't have to try to do all that planning in just a couple weeks. So that's kind of how we're operating right now.
Give ourselves a window there, which makes sense, you know, just a little window. Say, okay, looks like this is gonna happen, we pull, but I'd say go ahead. But try to give us a little bit of a window just in case.
Maybe that's something we can discuss. with the-
Right, and you know, one of our biggest expenses is the busing, right? So if School District 51 isn't gonna send us children, we don't need buses, and they're gonna be able to understand that, you know, and then the mall and the same thing. So I think, you know, like I said, plan for the best, or, you know, hope for the best and plan for the worst. And, you know, come mid-February, if everything's out of control and we're at a 15-20% positive per week level, that's when we'll have to reevaluate and say, well, maybe this isn't the greatest idea. Confer with the school district. If they agree, then we'll go ahead and pull the plug, do the virtual like we did last year, and we'll just plan for 2023. And hopefully someday we'll get back to normal.
So Glenn and Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, but we don't pay until after the busing occurs. So if there's no busing, you know, they wouldn't send us a bill saying that, well, you scheduled it, but now you canceled it, right?
Yeah, but, we don't even get the bill till like a month after the event.
Yeah.
And
if
then
it was-
I don't know about Mesa Mall, you know, whatever it is, $700 or $800.
Then 800, I'm not sure what their policy is on cancellation.
That might be a question to ask when you meet with Natalie.
That's our window there. Baseball give us back any money we put forward if we don't go ahead. And we'll have that money anyway if we go ahead, so.
It's not like they're having a lot of events anyway over there, so I think you just, you know, ask for consideration, saying, hey, look, this is a never changing dynamic, you know, right now. So
Good point.
kind of not punish us, give us a little leeway on this, because we'll continue it in the future. But you know, Matt, I want to say, I think the tenor in this community is to move on and to keep going. And I think we're going to go. I think it's going to be a positive thing. And I say, let's just go with due caution, but, you know, have a plan in place in case we have to pull the pin. But it sounds like we're not going to be in debt to anybody if we do, and we'll probably get grace from the mall not to be charged. Even if we back out, I mean, if we cancellation fee, I don't think would be $800, maybe a couple of hundred.
Yeah, I don't think the mall's going to punish us, really. I mean, it's not like people are lining up to throw events anywhere right now. So, you know, I'm in agreement with the rest of the room. Let's just continue moving forward. If something unforeseeable happens, hey, it happens, you know, but, you know, let's just keep pushing forward. And I think everybody in the room feels that way, but we always have to keep that in the back of our minds of, you know, if we got to pull the plug, I think we have a good contingency plan. And it's not like the 2022 safety fair won't happen, even if it has to happen virtually. But I'm in agreement. I believe it's going to happen on the in-person fair. So let's
I was mainly asking because of offering both. How many are just going to go with the internet one versus the other one? Because we're offering both, like which one is going, because a lot of people stopped attending because they just don't have time to go. And so if this is something where they can, like where they have 5 minutes and can show a video, how many are actually just going to do the online version versus the in-person?
Well, isn't it set up that,
They'll happen on different weeks. We'll have the in-person and then the virtual one will be the following week, correct, gentlemen?
plus,
Correct.
plus isn't it that if we,
But they probably aren't gonna do both.
well, it's a yes or no. If we have the personal one, then we knock the virtual one off. So they can't wait till the next. I can see your point. You know, somebody just won't go and want to sit home or sit at the school and watch it, but trying to get what I want to say.
You know, I can imagine some teachers might want more information for their kids. May tune into the virtual safety fair after they attend the in-person.
So maybe two. Well,
And I believe most of the teachers are for the hands-on, you know, it gives them a day to get the kids out. And most people learn by seeing, touching and smelling, all that good stuff. So I think if the school district's good to go, I don't see a problem with moving ahead.
Yeah, and one of the things that has already been stated is that if by the deadline for the teachers' registration, we only have a handful of teachers that registered, then we can make that decision that it's not going to be feasible, I suppose, and we can just say, okay, we're going to postpone another year. For some reason, you know, we don't have a lot of students that are going to be attending from school district 51. And we're not going to be really out anything. A little of our time has been spent, you know, trying to organize this, especially amongst the board members. But, you know, I think we can kind of play it by ear, just as if the school district, in the same way that, you know, we've contemplated the possibility of school district 51, if there is, you know, a major COVID concern and they think that there's too many kids getting sick and such that they're going to shut down school district 51 from participating, you know, in the same way we can determine, you know, within a couple of weeks prior to the in-person safety fair that I guess we need to cancel this. But until that time, you know, it seems like based upon my contact and my conversations with Ari Goldberg and Tim Leon is that, you know, go ahead and do it. The teachers are interested. I know Ari told me when he sent out the message back after the October meeting as to the dates of the safety fair, he's already getting a bunch of responses from teachers who are interested in the in-person safety fair. So, and I received a couple as well.
Jim, you have to, basically you're getting registrations from the teachers from the schools. So we can maybe push a little harder, say, please get your registration in by this date.
Well, we have a deadline.
Right, but that's what I mean. Some teachers may want to wait till the last, but if we
Put a
have an
reminder
idea,
If they put
Put
a reminder or
put a
Right.
reminder
Yeah.
out, we need your registration by this date.
Right, and Ari Goldberg is the person that's doing that for me. I sent him the message that we want to have sent, and then he, you know, because in the past I've sent out reminders
Oh, okay.
and say you only have 2 more weeks prior to the deadline. You know, if you want to have your class attend the Mesa County Safety Fair, there's no cost to you. You know,
Well, that's like our window there.
yes,
We
correct,
have that, if there's not enough, we dump it, we go to virtual.
right,
So that helps. Yeah, I didn't realize that.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm in agreement, you know.
Matt,
Yes,
on fundraising. One other
Yes.
thing on fundraising. So Glenn's wife, Sue, she sent Glenn and myself an email a few weeks ago. And there's a program called Colorado Gives Day. And so I don't know a lot about it, but I wanted to talk with Glenn more about that and thought we'd bring it up at the next board meeting. I don't think we have to do it anytime really soon because I think the deadline, she said in her email, deadline is already passed for 2021, but this is something we want to look at for next year.
A lot of nonprofits are doing that right now. So, or have done it in the past. It seems to be a pretty good fundraising idea. Works
Colorado
pretty good.
Gives Day?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
So it might be something really to look into in the future.
yeah, no, I'm aware of the day. I wasn't really thinking about us and I should have been. Another thing that on fundraising that it's hard to remember to do, but we need to remember to do is, you know, let everybody around us know that we are on the Amazon Smile program. My girlfriend and I are both signed up to that. So when we purchase from Amazon, it should be giving us, I don't know what it gives us, but, or as far as a monetary amount, but you know, every little bit helps. So just a reminder on that we are on Amazon, and I believe we're on City Market as well. I'm not 100% sure of that.
The city market did not go through. When the application had gone through for all of that, that was like in the height of COVID. So that was something I was going to bring up, is if you want me to reapply for the city market section. I do know that our Amazon Smile is set up because every time I order for the park, it donates to the Amazon Smile. And I believe that they only give out the proceeds once a year, unless you're raking in thousands of dollars, and then they give it out on a quarterly basis. And we're not quite there yet.
No, it's like Spotify. It's like me putting my music on Spotify. I get $20 maybe a year.
Okay, yeah, actually, I think you should go ahead and
Yes.
that with City Market once again.
Yeah, I definitely think we should try to get back on that one as well. I think that fell off my radar as well when COVID hit, because we didn't really, we didn't meet for a while until we started meeting over Zoom with the board, so.
Yeah, and I know the application was definitely submitted, but it was about the same time that everything was due is when the outbreak really started. So I'll go ahead and resubmit all of that, and I'll have an update for you guys on for the next meeting.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashley.
Thanks, Ashley.
Hey, this is Carrie. Just one thought, and I don't know, maybe you guys have already discussed it in previous years, but is there a reason you don't charge your presenters even like a minimal amount, $50? That would pretty much cover the cost.
Well, for my 20-some years with the Safety Council, the reason it was explained to me that we didn't, it was an incentive to get people, organizations to come and have an exhibit.
How about a suggested donation?
We can do that.
We would appreciate, an exchange of gift of even $25, And not every group has to do it. And there's some groups that can't or wouldn't, but I bet a lot of them would.
There's a lot of companies that have that budget literally
Yeah.
paid for this. At least they might say, I'll give you $100. That's what we're planning on spending on fees anyway.
Yeah, we should market that. I concur. Don't make it mandatory. I don't want to chase someone away.
Yeah, but suggested gift.
I can include that in the message I send out when we get the exhibitors application online onto our website.
And you could ask if they return it then. Is there a way we could take credit card? Put credit card number on there? I fill out my vendor application and I
Yeah.
put my company credit card on it. Boom, you
What
get
about
the money.
PayPal? We do a PayPal account.
I don't know.
I know there's companies that do, so.
And nonprofits too. When you start getting into places with a tax exempt number, there's some places that'll give you reduced fees and things like that.
We need to figure it out for Colorado Goose Day anyway,
Yeah, that's true.
to take donations.
Another thing that we may be able to do, and this, you guys may be discussing this and I'm missing some of it, is put a donation button on our website.
Absolutely. That could be the one-stop shop too.
Yeah, that may, maybe somebody did come, they watched the virtual safety fair, they thought it was fantastic, and they're like, hey, I'd like to donate to these people. As opposed to having to reach out or send an email, they can just whip out that credit card and give us some money.
Absolutely.
So do we presently have the capability of receiving payments through a credit card, or is that something we're going to have to set up?
I do not know. I don't know how that works over website. I know that if you're receiving credit cards at point of contact, I know that we don't have that capability because we don't have that square or whatever it is. But I don't know how that works with websites. I can't imagine it would be too terribly expensive. The only reason I bring it up is our Employee Resource Foundation does We Vote, and for different organizations that submit their applications to Reynolds Polymer. And one of the ones we just did recently is we donated like $500 to Toys for Tots, and we were able to do that right over their website. So I don't believe Toys for Tots has a giant budget to operate under here locally. So I don't know how expensive it would be to actually put that on the website and if it would be worth it or not.
I wonder if Venmo lets you do something, or maybe have like a nonprofit.
And yeah, there's some payment processors that do nonprofits, because I've done donations before where when you get your payment email, you also get a letter from them automatically with the tax number that says you donated $500, here's your tax record info. So there's some payment processors that specialize, I think, in nonprofits. I'm not quite sure what their name would be, but I've seen pre-done letters where as soon as you make the donation, it says not a thank you, and it's got all the info, so that way they're not calling you guys saying, what's the tax number? How do I do this? Might be something worth looking into.
So it just automatically like gives you a W-9?
No, it just sends you a confirmation letter with like Safety Council letterhead on it, and it would say your donation of $500 was accepted on December 14th. Here is our tax exempt number. Please keep this copy as a record for your taxes when you're doing your write-offs.
Oh, okay. No, that's a good idea.
At a glance, at least, it looks like Square could probably do donations or work with a donate now button or something like that too. If anybody knows more about Square, please chime in.
I don't know much about it, but is it showing a price there, Sonato?
What's that?
Is it showing a price at a quick glance?
I didn't look that far into it, but it just said donations up to $5,000. And it had more information, but it mostly links to somewhere else where you'd have to do follow-up. But just at the landing page, it looks like that should be something that's available through Square at least.
Okay, great.
Matt, I have a question, still staying on donation road, but can we put together a speakers bureau? I mean, people to go out, talk to entities and groups and corporations and businesses of what we do. And I mean, giving just a 10-minute walk-in, hi, I'm Rich Basher, with the Mesa County Safety Council. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about what we do.
I think we were headed towards that right before COVID hit. I'm an OSHA outreach trainer. I'm also a CPR trainer. I did do a few trainings of surviving an active shooter at the Chamber of Commerce there, trying to do some community outreach and some safety training that would be relevant to local businesses to give them a reason to up attendance and also up donations. You know, we come in, we give you a training. You know, you guys donate to the Safety Council, something like that. And I believe we were really pushing towards that right when right when we couldn't gather anymore. I think after the safety fair, we should really start to look at that community outreach again to make this organization more than just, I think we do the safety fair and that's great. But what are we doing the rest of the year? And I think trainings like that and stuff, things that local businesses would find beneficial to them is some of the things I would like to explore with this council. That's just me, but I'll let you guys kick that around. And
I think that's good. I don't think it necessarily has to be attached to a particular training, but it could be. But there are so many groups that morning groups, luncheon groups, church groups, everybody just wants a little something, you know, a speaker to come in, take 10 minutes, 15 minutes of their time, talk about it, let them know what you are and get your name out there. And I think that's something we ought to do. And we've got a lot of good people here that are more than capable of getting out there. And I throw my hat in the ring, you know, give me a place to go. I'll have a cup of their coffee in the morning and I'll tell them a little bit about us. I think that's one of the things, you know, we're going to do. I mean, I plan when I go to see Karen is I'd like to have something in hand. I'd like to tell them about what we are, who we are, and why it's important you should be involved.
yeah, no, I think that's a great idea. And, you know, if there's an opportunity, we have a lot of unique skill sets in this council. There's a lot of people in this room that have a lot of knowledge about a lot of things, you know, and we talked about doing the trainings there at the Chamber of Commerce, and after the safety fair, we can look at starting that up again. And, you know, if we're going to other people's organizations as well, you know, if they have a luncheon or like they were doing the sunrise training sessions where I gave the surviving an active shooter training, anything we can do like that to get our name out there is great with me. And I think that's a wonderful idea.
And Matt, I like what you talked about the active shooter training, because stuff like that with the knowledge base you have, or even including like stop and bleed training, for example, those are two trainings that would cost us $0 in overhead. We could come in, have both those done in an hour, and we could say, hey, our recommended donation is $250 for the class since we just talked 25 of you. But it gives us 0 overhead as opposed to CPR or doing hazmat awareness or anything like that. So
Yeah,
I
I
think
want
that's
to
really
offer an naloxone training.
yeah,
It'd
no,
be-
absolutely. Yeah.
it'd be
We can do
great.
all three together. I could say here's a package deal, come to a presentation, hour and a half. You get active shooter, how to use a tourniquet, and how to use an
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. And, you know, we can reach out to the members on that email list for the Safety Council and say, hey, what does your organization need? You know, when I started doing the active shooter training was because there was a large outcry for that. There was a lot of incidents that happened right in a row, and a lot of businesses were really interested in getting that training. So if we can get in the heads or in the emails of our audience and see what they want to see, you know, or what they would like to see a training on, I think that would be great too, because then we could start to custom tailor it to our audience.
Most importantly, it gets our name out.
Exactly. And that's part of that community outreach I keep referring to, you know. Being an OSHA 10 trainer and a CPR trainer, I can teach a lot of things that would be beneficial, you know, to people in manufacturing or people in construction, things like that. You know, we have people here in the healthcare field that can teach, those subjects. So I think we have no shortage of knowledge. We just need to, apply it and apply it to get our name out there.
That would be something we can hold off till after
Sure.
and do it throughout the year.
There's no reason for us not to be putting our heads together down the road, and if it's like even doing the farmers markets, getting that table, and you don't have to do it every Thursday, but if you do it on a peak time, and just when you have people come by and
Well, and I'm not,
they can't, they won't donate, or they need to be supported by everybody. When you say the Mesa County Safety Council, that sounds pretty important to me.
well, and I'm not opposed. I've been kicking this idea around, and I'll just share it with you guys right now. We are the safety council, right? What happens if you get hit by OSHA and you don't know what to do?
Mhm.
I've got no problem with walking into a facility with my skill set and saying, okay, this is how I would abate this hazard. This is what I would do. This is the policy you need. Things like that, which wouldn't really take that long, but how beneficial would that be to the industries of our community to have that knowledge and have somebody walk in that's going to be a neutral third party to help them make their workers safer and also help them with those pesky OSHA fines.
Like you say, there's a lot of skill sets here. Brian and I are both certified in active shooter, Brian CPR, stop the bleed. We could go out, just do a nice promo to people and just get them interested.
So on the main website, just to throw it out there, like if we had a speakers bureau
Yeah.
based on who wants to volunteer and do that, make that available somewhere on the website, some sort of select a training, request more information, something like that.
Yeah, we should put a training link on there, or, submit your inquiries, or what kind of trainings would you like to see? Are you interested in hazard abatement? Things like that. Yeah, I think that'd be great if we put that on the website. People could click on and say, oh, okay, these guys can help us when no one else can, or they're going to be a neutral third party. Now, Reynolds Polymer is a Sharp company, which is a safety health achievement recognition program through OSHA's on-site consultation program. And each time I go out and I give trainings on that and talk to people about that program, they're very hesitant to call because they feel like they're calling OSHA on themselves. And in a way they are, but they're not compliance. They're there to help. What if we were the people there to help? What if we were the people to call? And like I said, there's that neutral third party. It removes a lot of that hesitance. So there's a lot of things that we can offer. And I think this would be great to explore. And it would also very much help our fundraising, I believe.
Good idea.
All right. Does anybody have anything else? I think we've come to 11:34. Is there anything else concerning the 2022 Safety Fair that we would like to discuss?
Yeah, I got one item on fundraising. Through working on getting my mother's estate settled out, our Edward Jones guy said we can make donations through my wife's IRA and get a little bit of a tax break. Something about the annual minimum daily withdrawal or something like that. So I've got all the details. I have a check for $2,500 for the Mesa County Safety Council. Wow. It's actually in my wife's name.
That's phenomenal. Thank you, Glenn.
Wow. We're hoping for it to be annual. I can't get that for sure. So I will get that to Ashley. And then Ashley, you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay. I also have a debit card that came in the PO box for the bank account that probably replaces the one you have that I need to get to you. What's your work schedule?
It's a little crazy. I can text you, Glenn. I'm gonna be out of town for about a week and a half for Christmas.
Okay, I'll catch up with you.
That's phenomenal, Glenn. We really appreciate that. I mean, you've pretty much funded the 2023 Safety Fair. So you guys give him another round of applause.
Pass that on to my significant other.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Okay, great. Well, let's keep moving forward ahead on this Safety Fair. Once we get done with that, let's really explore what we were just talking about. That's really the direction I'd like to see this council move is becoming a resource for the community, being able to outreach, doing training, abatement, anything that we can, safety related to help out the community. I'd really like to see us move in that direction. So let's definitely keep that in the back of our heads, and we'll hit that a little harder once we finish with the 2022 Safety Fair.
Matt?
Yes, sir.
On that same line, prior to us not meeting in person all together and whatnot, we did talk about on our website having links to other organizations' safety pages. So I think we still want to do that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Make Safety Council kind of, like you say, a clearinghouse for, all hazards, safety information.
Yeah, with the name, like you said, Mesa County Safety Council, that sounds important. We should be the authority of all things safety here in Mesa County, and be able to offer that to our community. I believe that would be wonderful. I'll tell you that when I started down this path when I was named the safety manager here, and I didn't even have an OSHA 10 training, there wasn't many resources. I had to go to Denver, and I got all my training in Denver, and many of my resources still lie within Denver. So it would be really nice from a business point of view if somebody needed a resource, if we could be that resource. That would also line us up. Remember, we've talked about the Susan Harwood grants through OSHA. That would also really line us up into being able to get large grants like that if we were doing that kind of training. Okay, anything else?
Just the next meeting is scheduled for January 18th, a Tuesday of 2022. January 18th. And I'm going to recommend that the board have a meeting prior to that. I think there's a few things we want to discuss.
Okay, can we do that around the first part of January?
I'll throw out some dates. I'll put together a doodle poll.
Perfect.
We can make it early in the month of January too.
Yeah, I think we're all raring to take our break at the end of the year, right? We can come back at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of next year, and get back to business.
Sounds good.
Excellent. All right, well, if there's nothing else, I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Excellent. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Thanks for your input. We will see you next month, and happy holidays.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Thanks, man.
There he is.